Catherine, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hello, Michael. I'll talk about the guns in a minute. First of all, I'm quite old. I'm 80 now, and I'm a tranny. So I just wanted to say that I thought the way those people behaved towards Kelly, what was her name? Kelly J. Keane
Posey Parker.
at the weekend.
Yeah.
Utterly disgusting, and completely unconscionable. What the hell did they think they were doing? Anyway, just thought I'd get that one in there.
Honey, just before you carry on, Catherine, can I just say, thank you for ringing, A.
Yeah.
B, can I just say,
Okay.
there wouldn't be anybody, or I hope, in the world who would deny you the opportunity or the choice to make the choices that you've made. And I know how hard it must have been for you to do so. When did you personally transition?
About 20 odd years ago now. Quite late in life. I did have, I had.
It wouldn't have been very acceptable then, would it? Even, yeah. Well, I mean, it must have been very tough.
It was a bit tougher then, yeah, I suppose. But there was a process. You see, it's quite a long process. You had to, first of all, go and see your GP, who usually sent you to a psychologist for a psych evaluation to make sure you weren't loopy. Then you had to see an endocrinologist, and if he okayed you physically, you could then go on to hormone therapy, and you had to live as your new persona for at least 2 years, and then you could get a clearance to get surgery. And once you've got all your surgeries and everything, then you could have your identity change your name, birth certificate, citizen licenses, etc., etc., etc. It was quite a long process. It took 4 or 5 years. But now, any guy can come along and just say, I'm a woman and I must be allowed in there. Well, no. And I predicted that this would happen 20 odd years ago when they started to push for what they call self-declaration. I didn't mind going to see a psych because if I had a worm in my head that could be fixed, well, fine, let's fix it. If I was delusional, I wanted to know about it. And we could have done something about it. As it turns out, I wasn't.
Oh, Catherine, I love you.
It's a form of intersex. It's a brain structure.
And you talk so much sense. Can I just say, can I also ask you another question of you? When did you know that you had a lot more feminine in you than masculine? When did you decide? At what age were you aware that you had these feelings?
Looking back, I was a strange child. I think it was when I was about 6 or 7. I didn't particularize it then, but I knew I was different, and I always got along with girls better. My mother would have told you, when I brought little chums home from school, it was nearly always girls, and but as I say, I had people like me. It's caused by a genetic defect. We've got lazy androgen receptor genes on our X chromosome. Everyone has one of those, and it means that fetus, even a fetus that's XY chromosomes, is female in form until that is changed by the addition of hormones from the mother throughout gestation. And the brain is one of those structures that is changed by that. And if your androgen receptor genes resist the androgens from the mother to switch your brain from the default condition of female to the male condition, which in certain areas means doubling the neuron count, if that doesn't get done, you end up with a brain hardwired to be a girl and a body that isn't quite. There usually are some physical manifestations which are often slight and missed in infancy. Mine were. But, so it's
can I ask,
thing.
Were you, your sexual orientation, were you homosexual or were you heterosexual prior to your transition?
Depends how you define it. Well, I did get married. I have children. I mean, let's face it, we're talking a long, long time ago. And
yes, we are.
You did what society wanted. You got married and had 2.7 kids and all that sort of thing. but I wasn't very good husband and father material, sadly. Sexual orientation. Well, I grew up as a young male in a male society. I never had much of a libido. I've only had 2 relationships in my entire life of an intimate nature, and neither of them was started by me. I just didn't have the sort of hunter instinct. Sex with women, yeah, that was okay. That was fine. And now, I'm pretty old now, so let's
That's
put
all
it
right.
this way.
Listen, I'm identifying with you instantly. I know exactly what you mean. I got married. That was the end of that. So yeah.
There's only one guy. There's only one man I've known. I won't mention his name, of course. It might embarrass him. Although he does love me. He's told me so. I was in business with him at one time. He's the only guy I've ever met that I can honestly say, if he made a pass at me, even today, I wouldn't turn it down.
Well, there you go. Good on you.
He's a lovely guy.
But the point you make is a really good point. You're saying that there was a process to go through. It's an unusual step. There's only a very few group of people who would be like yourself. I met somebody like you at my boarding school who was exactly the same. Clearly a female born in a male body, and it was obvious to us all.
The thing that worries me, Michael, now is that a lot of the newly emerging so-called transgender people are young women. And going that way is 100 times rarer than the 1 in 30,000 of us that are like me. Now, apropos to that, this trans person in America that's just shot up a school, what seems to be happening is a lot of young women are getting on this bandwagon, having their boobs chopped off, take hormones, grow some face fungus, and then realise that really they don't feel that way, but then they're stuck. And the psychological effect of that, which was very rare in my day, I've known 2 people who managed to lie their way through the process and then found out they'd made a mistake. Both of them are dead. They both suicided. It's not something to be taken lightly. And I think a lot of these young women that are going in for this are going to end up in this situation. It's going to be terrible because most of them have never been tested properly. And it's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. But there you are. It's the done thing. If you're a young woman that isn't getting on in the world, be a man. Doesn't work like
Question. Where do you fit? Okay, no, I understand that. So you're suggesting that the old way was the better way, which is exactly what you went through, the psychological assessment, the drug transition. Did you have gender reassignment surgery as well, Catherine?
Oh, yes.
Where did you, was that in New Zealand?
You have to have that to get your new sex recognised. No, it was... The one surgeon that did it in New Zealand was extremely expensive and, frankly, did very bad work. I went to Thailand to one of the very best... The 3 best surgeons in the world at this are all in Thailand, or they were. I think mine's probably retired now, Dr. Sangwan. But I believe there's a female surgeon in Auckland who's doing it now. I'm not up with the play at the moment because I don't move in the tranny world that much these days. But I have heard that she's very good. So, but it is quite expensive, of course. And I don't know what the charge is now. I would guess...
How long did it take you to recover from that surgery once you'd had it?
Well, it depends what you mean by recover. I was in hospital for 3 weeks. And then I came back to New Zealand. I was, on my feet and walking around. All the bits don't settle down, of course, for some months, and there's things you have to do which probably this isn't the place to go into. But like any major surgery, you're healed up pretty well in 3 months, but really it takes 12 months to heal properly. Any surgeon will tell you that. But in actual fact, it's not as invasive as you might think. You know, so, yeah. But
I always
you know,
like to cross my legs when I talk about it, but yeah. No, I
know.
most
Guys always do. They go, yeah, you know. But yeah, you know, you get all the right bits, and they all work, you know. And you can't have babies; that's the only limitation. But everything else works, you know. And you know, if the surgeon really knows what he's doing, and you know, there you go. But I didn't get the surgery to have sex with men. I got the surgery to make me feel better about me, and it worked. You know.
Understood.
It's not a perfect
Catherine,
process,
can I just say
but it
this
makes
is the most important phone call I'll have this week. I really, really thank you for calling in. Seriously, this is the most important phone call I'll have this week. And secondly, can I also say, the point you've raised is brilliant, but you carry on. You were going to say something else.
The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was guns. Now, as it happens, I am a shooter. I have an endorsed license for handguns and also for those nasty centerfire semi-automatics P3 and P4 endorsement, because I am also a gunsmith and I fix guns for people. It's one of the things that I do in my retirement. And so, if what was the guy's name from the Deer Stalkers? Peter. If he thinks his charges are bad, when I have to renew my ordinary firearms license, which has those restricted weapon endorsements on, it will cost about $1,700. And I also, as a gunsmith, have a dealer license, which I have to renew every year. Which means every year I have to pay for all those endorsements again.
And how much is that, Catherine?
Well, last year it was only $410, but next time it's likely not to be at all, because I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm a superannuitant. I don't earn much with my gunsmithing. Yeah. And I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it. So, as far as restricted weapons are concerned, I won't be able to do it. And they haven't told us the procedures. All our handguns have always been registered. Okay? Always have been. I mean, I've 5 handguns. And they are registered to me by the police. And does that mean that handguns aren't found in the hands of criminals? No. So registration doesn't work. The Canadians spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it.
I understand you. Listen, I've got to go to the news, but this has been a lovely conversation. Okay. Please call in again. Yeah. And can I just say, I'm looking at a lot of texts at the moment. A lot of love coming your way, by the way, from our texters, saying that this has been one of the most mature adult conversations, and why can't we have more of these in the future? Catherine, thank you so much.
Love to and Posey Parker as well. Okay.
Good on you. Ta.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, that's Catherine. 12:05. We go to the news, sport and weather.